Hello, my friends. I'm down in Spokane, Washington today to talk to my friends at Wemco. We're here to talk about partnership. We're here to talk about Hwacheon. We're here to look at some really cool projects. And hey, they made this. So I'm here today at Wemco with my buddy Justin, and I really want to know, Justin, like, what do you guys do here at Wemco? I see giant ass cranes, and they're huge.
Yeah, here at Wemco, we're a equipment manufacturer by trade. We're an OEM for our own crane products. We started out in this industry building a lot of agricultural equipment, a lot of potato harvesters, concrete plants, and that kind of built the base of the fabrication experience that we have. And about 15 years ago, we started doing aerospace work, so a lot of tooling for the engineering firms over in Seattle. A lot of that tooling went to Boeing, Airbus, Northrop Grumman, places like that. And while we were doing that tooling, we really built up our machining presence in the industry.
Yeah.
And we focused on larger machines because we saw the projects were always going to take bigger machines. And just in that area, there's less people that can do those parts.
Yeah.
So we really focused on that as a building point for the business, as being one of the largest machine shops, on the West Coast.
Yeah, and I know we were talking earlier, you mentioned there's even other shops that reach out to you because they don't have the capacity, but you do, and you get to do business across the US. And it's thanks to some of the investments you made. I mean, we're here for Hwacheon today, and we'll talk about their machines and how they help you reach your goals for Wemco. So we've got the giant cranes here. How small of a crane do you do? Let's take a walk.
We do cranes down to 1, 2 ton, half-ton jibs. So we do a lot of smaller stuff, but really our bread and butter is the larger it gets, the more we like the project.
Yeah, so then we've got giant pieces in there. What's going on inside that machine right now?
So this Hwacheon machine, the Mega 110 that we bought, it was the first Hwacheon machine that we purchased. This machine was purchased so that we could do larger rope drums. We were getting asked to do larger hoists, higher tonnage hoists. Those require a larger diameter drum and a longer drum.
Yep.
So we settled on this machine here. That we thought would do a good job up to the 40-inch range on the drum diameter, and then 12 feet on the length. We were able to do a 12-foot long drum in there.
Yeah, and that machine was about like 7 years ago, I think you guys were talking?
Yeah, 5-6 years that we're into that machine. That one led to buying some other ones that you'll see later.
Yeah, well, and that's the crazy thing. I mean, when you're looking at partnership, I mean, you've got it from Selway. You guys have been working with Selway now for like 20 years.
Yeah, I bought my first machine from Selway, which is a tiny little TL3 Haas lathe, and then after that, we've pretty much bought all the Hwacheons through him, and some of the other machines we purchased too have come through Selway.
Yeah, and bigger machines that are going to accommodate for the larger work that you're doing with the giant cranes and everything that you do, because you do stuff for dams as well then?
Yeah, so in the crane market, we do a lot of aerospace cranes for airplane builders. So we're building our own hoists, we're building the cranes, we're doing them automated so they can do different functions inside their factories. But on top of that, we also, one of our big markets is the hydroelectric market. So all the higher tonnage cranes that we're doing are for the hydroelectric market.
Okay.
A lot of them are the Army Corps of Engineers or the PUDs. But there's a lot of hydro energy out here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
We love it, and it's kind of how we have cut our teeth in the crane industry.
Yeah, and it's awesome that you're contributing to the infrastructure, really, that so many Americans rely on. So this is another massive machine. It's the Hwacheon H8. What kind of parts do you find yourself putting over here?
So we're doing anything that we need the fourth axis on in this machine. This machine right here, we replaced 3 LeBlanc Makino A77s.
3 machines replaced by 1 machine.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a choice because we wanted to go with a bigger machine.
Yeah.
Eventually, I could see us owning 2 of these, but for right now, we started with 1, and it allows us to do a bigger envelope than the A77 had.
Yeah.
When you really look at the construction of this machine, it had the three-place leveling, so it's very easy to install.
Yeah.
All of our floors here at Wemco are all 14 inches thick.
Those are some thick
the bigger
floors.
machines have their own foundations, but we're able to set these machines on the 14-inch slab that we put in, so that we could interchange machines wherever we needed to. This machine kind of fit in this opening. We said we want to go as big as we can on a horizontal with a fourth axis, and this is what they had for us. It was fully enclosed. We brought this in, and we do a lot of parts that have, round sections up to clevis pins, a lot of high material removal that we're doing on this. We start with large blocks of material, but it works all the way down to where we're just doing small plates and putting holes in it. So it does a great job for us, all the way around.
Yeah, and it's nice because the horizontal, so you've got gravity working with you for all that chip control, getting it down to the augers, getting it out of the machine.
Yeah, and obviously with the 4th axis, we're able to do, less setup time and more part machining, and those parts are more accurate because we don't have to turn them and dial them back in.
Well, yeah, and the machine's running while it's out here on the pallet pool, so you can do all your finagling out here, swap it in when you're ready to go. It's a really smart call. And then we've got this beautiful group of 3 vertical machines. Did you guys get these all at once, or what's the story here?
So pretty much all the machines were purchased within a 14 to 18 month time period. But we basically started with that big lathe. We moved to buying these mills. Then we circled back and bought another little lathe, and we bought that H8. These mills here just replaced, we had a couple of older Monarchs that were the same size as the Vesta 2000s.
Yep.
And those machines, this was the first machine that we found that had the same envelope that we liked and actually had some of the same type of construction and we thought reliability that those Monarchs had. The Monarchs were kind of at end of life. We were spending too much on maintenance, so we made the decision to bring these in. At about the same time, we bought this 1300B, which we liked. It's a boxway machine. And this replaced a Morisiki MV55 that we had. And it's actually a little bigger. It's more close to the MV65 that we still run on the other side of the shop. But that machine was built in 1983 that we replaced. And this machine, when I went to the IMTS show, I crawled around on this machine and they showed me, the inner workings of it underneath of the way guards and everything during the show. And you really can't tell the difference between that and the older Morisiki that was really robust and lasted that long. So we thought, it would be a good investment because we're going to be able to run it long term with it being boxway, geared head, and making accurate parts.
Well, and so I'm guessing you've bought so many in such a short span of time. You got like 6 machines in 14 months, that the accuracy's there, the material removal rates are there. How was the transition going into so many Hwacheon machines all at once for your team?
It was so we wanted to standardize on the Fanuc controls.
Yeah.
And Hwacheon's a big user of Fanuc controls, so that made that decision a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Realistically, after we made the first decision, just the installation, the people that they sent out to set up the Mega and make sure that it was running right were so good that we just really thought, it's the right place to make another investment, and we just kept going with them. And it's been a good relationship so far. I'm more of a relationship buyer than a price buyer.
Yeah.
And I hope that my customers are too. So we kind of stand up to the value of the fact that Hwacheon has stood behind the machines. They've come and set them up right. They continue to make sure that they run right, either through Hwacheon factory service or Selway, who also does the general maintenance on them and everything.
Yeah, well, and that's something I really like about in manufacturing. It's a lot about partnerships, and the people that you can call, they're going to get you the right answer. They're going to be there to support you. They're going to make the recommendations. They're going to let you crawl all over the machines at IMTS to make sure they're where you want them. Yeah. And they can support you and help you really meet your customers' needs. Or if there's an area like the large stuff, they're like, okay, you want to do that big? This is the solution for you.
And we have access to, all the way up to the president in America. Yeah. And also, the higher ups at the company. I communicate through them on LinkedIn, and they've always been very responsive and very helpful all the way up to the president level.
Yeah, Hwacheon's one of those companies where you interact with them and they don't get weird. They're not like, no, you have to go talk to this person. They'll talk to you, they'll give you answers, they'll support you, which is something that's been really cool as I've been learning more about them as a supporter and supplier of machine tools. And I'm glad that you're getting that experience, right?
Yeah. As a guy who owns quite a few different brands of machines and everything, the support has been great. And also just the quality of the machine overall has been phenomenal in my mind.
Yeah, and then the last lathe we didn't really talk about was this little guy over here. So which products do you find going into the smaller one?
So this was our venture into, we were doing some aluminum casting projects, R&D projects for a couple of companies. Yeah. Because we're also in that market. And we needed a lathe that had live tooling so that we could speed up the part processing. We didn't want to put keyways in. We didn't want to put holes in on another machine, another setup, because it was taking our milling capacity away from the other stuff we were doing. So it really kind of moved into buying this machine in order to be able to do that type of a part. But it has a 12-inch chuck, so we're really doing smaller shafts. A lot of stuff that goes through bearings. It's a lot of wheel shafts, a lot of just shafts in general that we're doing on it that have keyways in them. And then we get into doing some more complex parts from time to time that have, clevis ears and things like that for linkage arms.
Yeah, they're integral parts, and when you have to try to take something round and set it up again on a mill to try to mill in features, that's a pain in the butt.
It is. And we wanted to eliminate that so
Yeah.
we're more efficient.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin.
Yeah, no,
I
thanks for your
appreciate
time.
it.